So I know a ton of people who are trying to recalibrate their wedding plans now that 2020 is over. And I keep telling them, you have to check out Zola. It helps so much, even before a pandemic, by doing everything in one place. There were wedding vendors, save the dates and invitations, free websites, registry, and more. So highly recommend if you are in the same boat.
See what all those 5-star reviews are about. Go to zola.com/drink today and use promo code SAVE50, that's SAVE50, to get 50% off your Save the Dates.
For peace of mind, you'll receive free change the dates with your purchase. That's zola.com/drink, promo code SAVE50.
Did you know that a simple finger prick can unlock tons of insight into your reproductive health? I'm talking egg count, menopause timing, if your hormone levels indicate conditions like thyroid disorders or PCOS, all things that are good to know whether or not kids are in your future.
That's why Modern Fertility was created. It's the easy and affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home with a simple finger prick. You mail it in with a prepaid label and you'll get your personalized results within 10 days.
Right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off of the test when you go to modernfertility.com/drink. And that means your test will cost $139 instead of the several hundred or even $1,000+ it would cost at a doctor's office.
So get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/drink. That's modernfertility.com/drink. Hello, Em.
Hi. Hello.
What are you doing?
Just, nothing. What are you doing?
Listen, I'm living the dream. I have a cat on my lap.
Oh.
I survived a Kroger incident.
Christine is not feeling good today.
Listen,
we were supposed to record both of our episodes yesterday, and
I keep pushing it back.
Christine feels a little icky, which is okay, but it's getting worse, is it?
Well, see, I thought I had a cold. Then I went into the little clinic at Kroger to get a COVID test just to be sure. I'm vaccinated, everything, but since Blaze works at the ER, I was like, we should know before he goes back to work.
Delta variant.
That's
apparently,
true.
The rapid tests aren't showing it on their. I've been watching a lot of Delta variant TikTok, and apparently it's not showing up on rapid tests sometimes. So that's an interesting.
Hey, did Delta variant go viral on TikTok?
Okay, you're ill, so I'm gonna let you have it.
Okay, well, here's the thing. So I don't get the rapid test because whenever I have strep or UTI, the rapid tests never show up for me for some reason. So I just got the regular one.
Sure.
But I find out tomorrow. But so I was there and I was in the waiting room and I was like, I see tunnel vision. I'm so dizzy. And then, I forgot to tell you, my Apple Watch said my heart rate was 128, and I was just sitting there and I was I don't think that's normal. So I texted Blaze and he's like, no, that's not normal. And then my blood pressure was fine, so they just sent me home. But Em is watching. Em has Blaze on speed dial in case I just go unconscious on the Zoom.
Well, Christine almost fainted in Kroger.
It was so embarrassing, dude. It was so embarrassing.
I've never almost fainted anywhere.
Me neither. It's horrible.
I don't know. What does
don't
it
try
feel
it.
Like? What does it feel
felt like just so dizzy, and I was there's spots in my eyes. I don't even know how to describe it beyond that. Just felt like I was gonna pass out.
Were you aware that you were about to pass out?
Yes.
Or were you what's going on? And then you'd be unconscious. Because
I tried to play Toon Blast to distract myself and it didn't work.
As someone who's never fainted, I always wonder what those couple seconds of consciousness left are like. Do you know you're going down?
I think it's I'm going to faint now. So, at least that's what happened. But I mean, and I didn't, thank God, but I was very, very close to passing out, I think. Yeah, I was just very, very dizzy. Anyway, I'm fine. It's all good. But
well, it's good enough that Blaze is a one button call away from me on my phone.
I mean,
in case
honestly,
you pass out on the show.
It's very convenient because he has his blood pressure cuff and everything here. So I'm just just check me. He just monitors me.
I'm still always impressed by Blaze's Bluetooth stethoscope that can just send your numbers immediately to a hospital. I'm like, that man's got it all.
He loves his
including
toys.
A sick wife.
A sick pregnant wife, the last thing anyone wants. How are you, Emmethy?
I'm all right. Nothing. I mean, I'm feeling pretty healthy, but then we're about to maybe jinx that because I'm going to Florida.
Back to Florida. Oh gosh.
I know. So, and even though I just came back from a cold, it's been a while since I've gotten a cold, so maybe my body chemicals have just completely changed. But it used to be that if I got a cold, I had some like weird invincibility to colds for several weeks after that.
Right.
And so I keep thinking like, oh, I just had the cold, I'm fine now. But like every time I've been to Florida in the last like 5 years, I've gotten insanely ill. So I'm kind of nervous that
I know
I'm
this
gonna
is
come
like the
back
ultimate test of like you go right back and see what happens.
I know. So I have to pack, but also my room is a mess. One of the like worst qualities of me as a roommate is I'm so fucking messy. And
No, I thought you were not messy. I thought I was messy and you were neat. I thought that's how our friendship worked.
then maybe it just got really bad during the quarantine. But like
Oh.
I'm one of those people where like I'll just leave something and forget about it for like a week. And that happens until every item of my closet is on the floor.
Oh
And
yeah,
so,
same.
so and poor Allison, who like is not like that, lives in chaos in our
Oh my
bedroom.
God, she
So
lived with me too. This is her fault for choosing roommates like
that's what
us.
I'm saying. So anyway, I have a huge cleaning to do today, and then I also have to pack. So
Yuck.
but yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. It's just a lot of tedious stuff that I did to myself.
Well, do you have a
But
trash pile?
my clothes are the trash pile, I think.
Oh no, clothes are not a trash pile. Clothes are like, they're
No,
fine.
trash is so easy to clean up because you just pick it up and put it in the trash can. But the clothes
No.
pile, you got to figure out what's dirty,
What if
what's
the
clean.
trash
You got to
can's
do
all
a
the way
whole round of
downstairs?
laundry. No. You got to hang things on hangers. You got to fold.
I know, but what I'm saying is I have both of those things.
Oh,
And obviously, like I'm never clean ever, but I have both of those things, and my trash pile, it gets so monumental.
I don't have a trash pile, but the thing that it's worse, I think, not to compare crises, but I think mine's worse because mine are all these like I'm such an impulse spender that I have all these random tchotchkes that I never find a place for, and I already didn't have a place for. So now I have to like I have to unwrap every single thing I purchased in the last couple weeks, and then I have to find a place for it in a space that has no room. So I have to rearrange everything. And so like that gets so overwhelming that I just don't touch it, and then I have 100 things I got to do that too. And then it becomes a whole thing. So
I know the cycle continues. Yeah, I'm with you.
Anyway,
I'm just like, well, I should recycle that, and so then I just leave it on the floor, and then I never recycle it.
Well, you're technically not throwing it away.
That's
so
exactly right. I'm upcycling it to my floor.
It's carpet now. Yeah.
It's a bug house. It's where all the bugs live now.
But yeah, so I'm fine. I just know what I have to do today, and I'm not.
It's the worst when you're like, it's like an impending task, and here I am like postponing our recording by 3 hours or whatever. So I apologize.
I literally used the time to depression nap anyway. So
it fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I almost depression fainted. They were like, "What medications are you on?" I was like, "Don't even get me started, lady." But I want to say one thing too before I went to my Kroger incident. I went to UPS and I had all this mail, and I'm just so thankful. I just want to do a big blanket thank you, because a lot of people have been sending really nice little gifts that I'm going to send Em a big picture of all the lemon gifts that I've received for the baby.
Also, thank you everybody for not sending me lemon gifts. I know some of you still trickle in here, but I appreciate that it's all being pretty much redirected.
It's rerouted. That's the best part, is like if I get any mail over here, because I get obviously much less than like the main PO box, but if I get any here, then I know it's like specifically for me.
Like just a lemon PO box.
Just lemon. No, 100%. And now my brother and I share it. So it's either like weird shit for him or like lemon shit for me. And I've gotten so many sweet little like baby like gifties, and someone even sent the first blanket they ever crocheted to the baby. It's just really sweet, thoughtful cards and gifts. And I open them because we are still so backed up on gift videos, and this is just a long story, but so I just end up opening them and putting them up and away, and I don't necessarily get to write like a thank you to everybody or like thank everybody personally. So just if you sent something, I did receive it, and I am very, very thankful for you. Oh, and some people even bought stuff off the registry, which was just so thoughtful.
Oh, nice.
And I made it. Some people found it, which then it was just like a little bit of like not drama, that's not the right word, but people were like, oh my God, people are finding Christine's registry and her address. I just put my PO box on there just in case. So
fair enough.
Don't you worry. But anyway, thank you to everybody.
I still have not looked at your registry.
Oh, it's fine. Listen,
I assume listen, first of all, hang on, watch it. That baby is going to have so much unnecessary shit from me. I would rather focus my money on that. Also, like, that child, I'm going to find a way to convert it into at least a fraction of a Marvel fan, even if it's just one character. You can pick the character.
Please.
I'm going to be sending you a lot of weird crap. I already actually just found, I was cleaning out my car, which, by the way, I had packages from people, and in there was a whole bag of stuff I need to send you. And I was like, that's a weird thing for the baby. And I went, oh, that's a weird thing for the baby. And I went, this is going to be a good package.
This is a solid assortment. Yeah. I just feel like everyone is so funny and sending like the most random or the most like thoughtful. Even some people who work at like baby companies like send little stuffed animals and stuff. It's all just very kind. And I just want everyone to know that I appreciate you so much.
Oh, well, that's very sweet of you.
And so does this baby who's literally finding different organs every day to poke really hard.
What's its favorite organ to kick in you?
I would probably say the bladder is a fun one.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
So like, could the baby like do like a quadruple threat and like stretch
starfish
and do like a punch, kick all at the same time to different spots?
Yeah, definitely. Because there's multiple elbows and sharp points. It definitely, you can feel it. It's kind of
also
horrifying.
When the baby stretches, isn't that like a 2-foot human inside of you?
No, not 2 feet. Not 2 feet.
Well, I mean
15 inches tall.
Okay, well,
1
big
foot.
fuck enough. Excuse me. I was born at 2 feet, to be clear.
Oh, so shut up. 24 inches. Jesus Lord, help me. That's insane.
I was always freakishly tall from the womb. Okay.
From the womb, your poor mother.
From the womb. When I was 10, I was taller than like some of my teachers. So it just happens. Just let it happen. But yeah, if I stretched in the womb, my mother would have been dead, I think. So
my brother, actually, I think I probably already said this on the show. My brother broke my mom's ribs in the womb. Like only one of them, but like kicked so hard it broke her.
Just the weak one.
Just one. Broke one of her ribs, and obviously they can't do anything because like what are they gonna do? So she just had like a fractured rib for the rest of her pregnancy.
That's why she had that huge gap in having more kids. She was like, I have to recover mentally.
She honestly was like, this isn't, you two are too much already. Too much.
Ugh.
It's so great to finally be back in like a normal summer routine, like getting some sunshine, talking to the neighbors, going to the post office. Wait, what?
You don't even need the post office. You can still do some wonderful things from home despite going out and having a life. And that includes stamps.com.
I've set up, this is not a joke, I've set up my printer so that I can reach it from my bed downstairs. So like now if I have to print postage, I do it from my bed and I can hear it printing upstairs. And then when I go to if I have to like, tape it up upstairs, I just go do that. And it's super easy. It's a no-brainer. It saves nearly 1 million small business owners like us time and money.
And with their switch and save feature, you can quickly compare carriers to find the best rates every time. So again, no brainer.
Stop wasting time going to the post office and go to stamps.com instead. There is no risk. And with our promo code DRINK, you can get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts.
Just go to stamps.com and click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in DRINK. That's stamps.com, promo code DRINK. Stamps.com, never go to the post office again. Christine, smell my hair. What does it smell like to you?
Oh my goodness. I bet it smells like peaches.
You bet? You can't smell it from here? Hang on.
I can now I smell it. Well, I got confused because mine, I just showered as well. Mine also smells like peaches. So sometimes I don't know if it's you or me because we match.
Well, my hair smells like peaches, as does yours, because we have Function of Beauty.
Oh, it's so much fun. You take a quiz, which we love. It's thorough. You tell them about your hair type, straight, wavy, curly, coily, hair goals if you're trying to lengthen, volumize, or just like stop making it so oily. And then you can pick whether you want to go fragrance and dye free, or you pick a fun color. I know Em likes to have black conditioner or something.
I love it. I feel like, what did I say? Morticia Adams.
Yeah. Mine is like pink and green, but I guess fun either way.
So turn your good hair days into a good hair life. Go to functionofbeauty.com/drink to take your quiz and save 20% on your first order.
That's functionofbeauty.com/drink to let them know you heard about it from our show and get 20% off your first order.
Functionofbeauty.com/drink.
Anyway.
Well, here, by the way, my story this week has, I'm sure we could find a way to spin it and associate it into like baby stuff if you'd like.
Oh boy.
But I decided that I was going to do a cryptid, but it was going to be Maybe not as mythological and spooky ooky, but like well known and universal. And it all came from like a TikTok where people asked me to do. Enough people in the comments said I should do this.
Okay.
So this is a tale you can tell your little baby when they get here. This is the story of the Tooth Fairy. Which is, by the way, kind of low-key inspired by Kremet because that's a baby with actual teeth. So
okay, fair point.
You can tell your baby about your first baby and how it had a very creepy smile.
Inspirational Kremet. Yeah, I will.
So this is the history of the Tooth Fairy. But before we get into it, I have I'm not kidding, 15 fun facts.
Ooh.
So let's just see. As a soon-to-be mother, or I would argue you're already a mother because you're already putting up with some bullshit.
Listen, I'm suffering, okay? So I think that counts.
Let's see how much you know about teeth and babies.
Oh, probably 0.
What do you think is the age of the last baby teeth that fall out? Like, how old is a child when their last baby teeth fall out?
9.
10 to 11.
Oh, okay. I'm just guessing.
I don't remember a single time I ever lost a tooth, which is so
really
funny. Yeah. I just totally forget.
Maybe you were
memories.
also born with all your adult teeth, like a big.
And they came in and they fell out all together on the same day. Yeah.
Can you imagine the nightmare? Oh my god.
Boom.
Oh no.
At what age do most children stop believing in the Tooth Fairy?
What do you mean believing?
Like believing that it exists. Believing?
Yeah.
That it exists?
Well, it doesn't exist.
Okay. Well, apparently the answer is 30. So great.
The answer is 30. Let's
nailed it, by the way, because you even got me stumped. I was like, what is happening
I'm just gonna let this sit here because I'm too lazy to try and explain it.
Okay, beyond you as the outlier here, what age do most people stop believing in the Tooth Fairy?
How about 8 or 9?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what I found out.
I don't remember. I think I found
out. Also, if you have little kids listening, hopefully you've turned this off already.
Hopefully they're over 8 and they figured it out already.
Oopsies.
Yeah, I figured out a couple different ways, but it was basically not telling my parents I lost my teeth to see if money would still show up, and then it didn't. And I was like, oh, I get it. So either you're the person in between, the go-between. Yep. Or you're just giving me money. Got it.
I probably should have figured it out way earlier, but somebody had to tell me on the playground. So
this is another fun fact that August 22nd, which is coming up exactly a month from now, is National Tooth Fairy Day.
Oh my goodness. That's
Didn't
fun.
know that.
What does that mean?
A day where we celebrate
okay,
the girl boss herself.
Yeah, we do.
What percent of American households do you think use the Tooth Fairy as
that's a great question. Kids? I mean, I'm a weird German family. We did it. So I feel like it's got to be quite a bit, right? Like, let's go with 65%.
80% of American households use the Tooth Fairy.
That's a lot.
And here is a super fun one. There is actually a literal Tooth Fairy calculator so that parents can determine the going rate of their children's teeth. Yes,
that's hysterical. Oh my God.
So how
inflation has probably been nuts since I was a kid.
There's a whole piece of history that I didn't even insert in here about the inflation. I will say from 1900 to 1975, so the first, for those 75 years, a tooth cost between 12 and 85 cents, depending on how, loosey-goosey your parents were.
How generous they were feeling.
So it used to be 12 to 85 cents at the beginning of the 1900s. Do you know what the average tooth gets? What the average dollar amount a kid gets for each tooth in the U.S. today?
Oh God, $2.
It is $3.70.
Okay,
the average. The universal average.
If you were going to say 5 or higher, I was going to be like, this can't be true because that's insane.
The higher. Apparently one of the higher averages based on a study for just generous parents, the average was $5.40.
Jesus Christ.
But the universal average is $3.70.
I think my mom always gave me a book. I feel like I usually got a little book or something. I didn't really get
That's
cash.
fun.
Yeah,
I got cash.
A little present.
I got cash. And then when I told my mom, hey, I lost a tooth like a week ago and never got any money. What's up with that? My mom felt real bad. And I got a tenner under the
Oh
pillow
my
that
God, that's genius.
with a note like, oh, sorry, I was in traffic, like some bullshit like
I
that.
was stuck in traffic. Oh.
So, okay, here's another thing I'm going to have you guess. What % of kids get $1 or less
Oh.
for their tooth?
Let's see. I would guess like 50%.
Only 3%
Shut up.
of
Wow.
kids get less than $1.
I'm bad at this game.
Coins, basically, they get coins.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is like a PSA to all parents. Like, you don't want your kid to be like the lame one that only gets a penny, you know? Like, I'm trying to help your kid right now, like get a little extra.
I don't know, Em, because I feel like
money.
you're telling the kid like, hey, you deserve more. Which I feel like
the kid deserves more, which means like parents, you better cough it up for those.
No,
teeth.
man. No. Listen, give him a book. It worked on me.
What % do you think get over $5?
Psh, the 1%.
Only 8%, which is still more than
That's
people
still,
getting.
yeah. I feel like I would understand like $1 because like you have so many teeth. Whatever.
But that means 89% of kids are getting between $1 and $5. So if you're in that range, your kid is, I don't know,
average.
proud to share with their friends what the tooth fairy gave them, I guess.
Wow. Fascinating.
And then the last the last percentage I'm gonna ask you is, what percentage of people do you think the tooth fairy is female, a female human?
Oh God.
Or a female humanoid or whatever,
100%.
75.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently that is only not only, but that's in the States, that's the primary belief.
Oh.
But outside of that, the tooth fairy is actually a lot of animals in different countries.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking outside of the US. Oh wow, okay, that's fascinating. Animals, that's fun.
Yeah. So apparently animals that have inspired the tooth fairy or are versions of the tooth fairy are bunnies, birds, dragons, squirrels, mice, bears, bats, and that's just some of them, and it depends from culture to culture.
Can you imagine telling your child, "Oh, a bat's going to come into your bed and climb under your pillow and take your teeth
around"?
Holy shit! If my mom were like, a bear or a raccoon or a possum is going to come and take your teeth out of your pillow, I mean, that's talk about German trauma.
But also think about like the people who think, oh yeah, a cute little bunny's coming into my room.
True.
They're like, can you imagine in the States, someone says a stranger's going to invade your home and rip your teeth
you're
out?
Completely right. A child, like a flying human is going to come through the window. Yeah, that's true.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. And she might be stuck in traffic, so you never know when she'll actually show up.
Yeah, fingers crossed she'll get here sooner than later, so we're not just in constant stress. So here's a fun fact about Kremet. An infant is usually not born with teeth already in their mouth, unless you're Kremet. Do you know the age range of when teeth come in for a baby?
Oh my God, no. I'm
sure preparing you. This is me being your guide into parenthood. Babies get their teeth from 4 months to 9 months on average.
Okay.
PSA, if it happens earlier or later, there's nothing wrong with your baby. That is just the average.
Gotcha.
And babies get a total of 20 teeth, which is interesting because I think adults get 32 teeth. I thought it was 16 on top, 16 on the bottom.
Well, because you're like your wisdom teeth and stuff are in there. Molars. I don't know. What do I know?
Canines.
Canines.
Vampire fangs. I don't know.
Buck teeth.
So for some reason, this is just part of tooth fairy history. For some reason, I couldn't find the reason, kids used to only get rewarded for the 6th tooth that would get taken out.
That's interesting.
But over time, parents started rewarding each tooth. And
you got to keep track of all 6. That seems like a lot to keep track of for each kid.
You might as well throw like a piece of candy their way or something, right?
Why not?
So this is probably around the time that the tooth fairy also became popular. Because dentists really like the tooth fairy because it first of all helps kids process the fact that they're losing teeth, because that can be like a really scary thing. And it's almost like the tooth fairy is coming, that's like a rite of passage versus like something's happening to your body and you're too young to understand.
It's falling apart.
Yeah. And then also they really like the tooth fairy because it encourages kids to keep their teeth clean, because a lot of the tropes or a lot of the lore with the tooth fairy is people will say, oh, the tooth fairy only takes the shiniest, cleanest teeth, or like to like build her castle or some bullshit, or like her castle of teeth, or like people have told their kids like, oh, the tooth fairy pays you more, gives you more money, or gives you more whatever if your teeth are cleaner.
The nicer it is, right?
It promotes oral hygiene a lot of times, and it also helps kids process what's going on. So that might have been one of the reasons why people stopped rewarding only the sixth tooth and they just started rewarding each tooth, because it was also promoting oral hygiene.
Because look how clean it is.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the first animal, or the first thing, I guess, to inspire the tooth fairy is actually rodents, which is fun.
Okay.
And I'm going to explain that in a second, but real quick, I want to talk about Norse tradition. So this is the 10th century. In the Norse tradition, there's something called, I'm probably saying it wrong, sorry, Tande Fay, which means tooth fee. And like paying a fee for a tooth.
Oh.
And basically all the way since at least the 10th century, and this is from the earliest writings that they have, so pretty much like as far back as they can go in this history, Vikings would pay for children's lost teeth or baby teeth, or often it was like the first lost tooth was the most special, but they would pay for all lost teeth, because baby teeth, I guess, as a sign of innocence or purity or something, it was considered good luck charms. And so Vikings would wear baby teeth as necklaces to protect them in battle.
Oh, wow. I think I've heard that. I don't know where I would have heard that, but that sounds really familiar. The necklace thing.
I always thought like, oh, when I see like, I mean, it doesn't happen a lot, but when I think about like a scary like pirate or Viking outfit, if they wanted to look super intimidating, they would be like, there'd be like a necklace of teeth or something. I used to think it was like, I always thought it was like of their victims, like a reminder.
Right. That's what it seems like it would be.
But it's just little babies.
It's just like, oh, my son at home lost his tooth, so I stuck it and put it on a necklace.
And every now and then I kiss it for good luck, you know.
Aw.
So since all the way then, people have been exchanging teeth for money is basically what I'm getting
Fascinating.
at. So we got a wide history here. But the main history for the tooth fairy really begins in the Middle Ages, because at the time Europeans thought that if a witch had your teeth, then they could control or curse you.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the more of your teeth they had, the more power they had over you. So it was very crucial in the Middle Ages to hide and destroy your lost teeth.
Jeez, okay.
So they were like, just get rid of it so a witch can't find you. So a lot of teeth were burned. Sometimes they were buried. A lot of people also hid them. And this is where rodents come in. People would often like bury or hide. They would bury their teeth like in the garden, or they would hide them in like a corner where like a rat may come through, because they would hope that rodents would find the teeth and eat them. I know, but it's because I guess the symbolism to it is that because rodents can like chew through literally fucking anything.
Sure.
So because rodents' teeth are so strong, they thought if a rodent eating your tooth, it would manifest that the next tooth coming in for you would be as strong as the rodents.
Sure. Why not? Listen.
Whatever. We started this topic with like witches are going to control you through your teeth. So
I mean, honestly, like we still have fairies coming in and paying you for that. It's like not like it's that wildly absurd.
It's just it's a different absurdity.
Yes.
So so one of the big things was that rodents would hopefully eat your teeth to grant you a tooth just as strong as theirs.
Fingers crossed.
And that becomes that's still common in a lot of cultures.
Oh, okay.
That like you'll give your tooth to I don't know if it's a pet or if there's just like
Oh.
animals running rampant or something, but a lot of people like hide it in a piece of meat and give it to like a dog or something.
Oh dear.
I
Okay.
know. I was like, oh, I had no idea.
Me neither.
So rodents being associated with teeth in the Middle Ages ended up inspiring this story in the 1800s. It was a French fairy tale, and it was called La Bonne Petite Souris. So I think I said that right. And it means the good little mouse.
Oh dear, very sexy.
Maybe sexy for like Mickey Mouse with like, oh, God. I don't know. So it's an 1800s French fairy tale, and it's a story about this tooth themed fairy. Like it was truly a fairy tale about a fairy. Mm-hmm. But the story goes that this fairy needed to help a queen leave this evil king or get rid of the evil king. So the fairy turns into a rodent, turns into a mouse, hides in the king's pillow, and then when he's sleeping, like basically punches out his teeth.
I'm sorry, what?
Like girl boss,
dude,
punches his teeth out, and I think steals them, and then I don't know what happens after that, but the king later dies, and
oh my God,
and the fairy and the queen, which are also interestingly two synonymous words for the gay men, which I'm loving that this could be like a power book for them.
I guess. Why don't you hide in somebody's pillow and punch their face in?
You know what? If it's the establishment, maybe it's all right. I'm not too sure.
If it's symbolic, maybe.
Yeah. I at least would like to go to a reading. I like a Barnes and Noble about this and see what the hell was going on.
This should be our next story. Smash Poetry. Talk about cryptids.
I know. So anyway, so the fairy tale was basically the fairy helped the queen by turning into a rodent and taking their teeth, taking the king's teeth or something. So it became this tooth fairy.
Can you imagine if you woke up and a rat was just punching your teeth in? And taking them, by the way, not even just punching them in, but like, hold on, let me grab that out of your mouth.
Putting them in like a little 1 centimeter drawstring bag.
Oh my God, no.
I just kind of like throw it over the shoulder with a little like stick bindle and just kind of running away. So I'm probably butchering how that story goes, but
no, it sounds perfect.
I hope that's how it went. And so this story ended up creating the lore that the tooth that there was a tooth fairy to begin with, but more simply put at the time, that there was a tooth mouse instead of a tooth fairy.
I kind of like a tooth mouse. That's kind of fun.
Well, a lot of places still have a tooth mouse instead of a tooth fairy. So there's still parts of France that still have this tooth fairy lore, that instead of like a humanoid fairy coming in and leaving you coins or whatever for your teeth, it's actually a tooth mouse who brings you money for your teeth.
I kind of like that actually a lot. Maybe I'll be that weird parent in the neighborhood.
I'd like to think if I had a tooth mouse, it would be like what's the blue mouse from Bear in the Big Blue House, Tutter or whatever.
I don't know.
It was the mouse with like insane anxiety. And so like, I like to think that my little tooth mouse would be so nervous about me like waking up or hearing them or being hurt. If you need something to watch and feel like you completely relate to this character, please go YouTube, like the mouse from Bear in the Big Blue House. Every single thing was an existential crisis with that guy.
Oh, sad mouse. Oh.
So I like to think that would be my tooth mouse if you needed a visualization. This story this fairy tale ended up introducing the tooth fairy, but people kind of ran with it as the tooth mouse because I think she was a mouse for most of the story.
Okay.
So then the tooth mouse became this official lore. So in the 1890s, there was a Prince Alfonso the 13th.
Yeah, there was.
And that was in Madrid. And I think that was in Madrid. I'm pretty sure that was in Madrid. And when he was a little kid, he started losing his teeth and he started getting nervous. And so the queen hired this famous writer at the time named Father Luis Coloma, who ended up writing a story based probably on this was around the same time that French fairy tale came out.
So he plagiarized.
It was loosely based on probably. But so the prince was losing his teeth. His mom hired this author to write a book for him to like kind of help him cope with it. I know. And so he ended up writing this story about Raton Perez.
Oh.
Which is basically the tooth mouse.
I'm so obsessed with that.
And so Raton Perez was a mouse. The story goes that it was a mouse who visits this prince and brings him gifts in exchange for his teeth. And the prince ends up befriending the rat, and Raton Perez takes him to other sleeping kids in the kingdom to show like how he also gives them gifts. And it was supposed to be this moral of like a Prince and the Pauper kind of thing, where it's like, oh, now the Raton Perez is introducing the prince to people who don't live as flashy as he does. And it was supposed to be
Did
like
the queen like rip out all those pages and was like, that's not the point?
it was like, you had one assignment and it was about his teeth. What are you doing?
You are trying to sneak around my rules.
You are trying to make a lesson. But yeah, so that ends up being the story of Raton Perez. And so at least by 1894 in Madrid, since then, Spanish-speaking countries, at least a lot of Spanish-speaking countries, still have Ratoncito Perez, or also Raton Perez, or also El Raton de los Dientes, which is the tooth mouse. They're all basically the same character, different names.
I love this tooth mouse. I'm getting so attached to it.
I knew you might, so I was excited for this. So kids will, at least in some Spanish-speaking countries, they will put their tooth under a pillow for Ratoncito Perez to replace with a gift. And a lot of times they'll also just put an item in a box next to their bed instead of under a pillow. And that's where the mouse will find it. But there's also places like Argentina where they will actually put their tooth in a cup of water, and Raton Perez will drink the water along with the tooth. So it kind of goes back to that middle age, like eating the tooth thing. And he'll leave a gift in the cup for them to wake up to.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
So there you have it. So
what if you accidentally leave your dentures out and you're like, no,
Raton Perez, he might be, that's a buffet. That's a buffet for Raton Perez.
You put your dentures in a cup and you wake up and there's like a little present. You're like, no, I need actually my teeth back. But thank you for the candy bar, but like, no thanks.
Say thank you, but that's literally my mouth. So can you give that back?
Took my mouth.
Ratoncito Perez, could you please throw out my dentures? I need them back. In that case, I think you put the gift back in the cup the next day and you reverse the whole process.
You're like, please, let's do an exchange. Yeah.
Well, apparently Ratoncito Perez is also is an actual icon like the Tooth Fairy. So he's used a lot in some dental marketing and things like that. So he's like, arguably, as someone who's never been to these places, the internet makes me feel like he's as important or as big as the Tooth Fairy.
Okay.
So in 1908, which was only like 12 years later after this book came out, in the States, the Chicago Tribune put out this article called Household Hints. And Lillian Brown wrote in and like contributed to Household Hints in the Chicago Tribune. And this is basically the first print appearance in the States of the Tooth Fairy. So Lillian Brown wrote this in the Chicago Tribune, quote, "Tooth Fairy. Many a refractory child will allow a loose tooth to be removed if he knows about the Tooth Fairy. If he takes his little tooth and puts it under the pillow when he goes to bed, the Tooth Fairy will come in the night and take it away, and in its place will leave some little gift. It is a nice plan for mothers to visit the 5-cent counter and lay in a supply of articles to be used on such occasions." So I think it was just like a hint of like, hey, parents, if you do this, you can give your kid 5 cents and then you go to like the penny candy shop and grab your supplies. It was like almost a little marketing tip on ways to entertain your kid when you have to bring them shopping with you. So that was the first real time we heard of the Tooth Fairy out here. I guess it took off in those next 12 years because by the 1920s, the French fairy tale from the 1800s I mentioned.
I remember.
Fairy, the tooth mouse fairy. So 12 years after the article in the Chicago Tribune, this French fairy tale was re-released in the States and translated into English. And so I don't know if that I don't know if they have anything to do with each other, but in 1908 and then in the 1920s, the first times we're seeing the Tooth Fairy in America. And the illustrations on this book, this book was also, I think the first one that had illustrations in it. And so now people could see what this tooth mouse actually looked like. And it was drawn more as a winged human fairy.
I see.
And so now by the 1920s, the United States has this understanding of like, oh, this floating human fairy that brings you money.
We
if you lose your
understand
teeth.
now. Yes.
Exactly. At the same time, this woman named Esther Watkins Arnold, she writes a little play that also has to do with the tooth fairy. And so now there's two different books about the tooth fairy, basically.
Okay.
Both in the 1920s. So they exist in the 1920s, but in the United States, it does not become very popular until the 1950s. So there's 30 years where people kind of know about it, but it's not this like understood household name
Right.
that every family uses. Do you want to guess why in the 1950s the tooth fairy got popular? There's two things that cater to this.
Let me think. The invention of toothpaste?
No, but that's, you know what? I don't know when toothpaste was invented, but that's a good guess for somebody that's not thinking about the year. Yeah.
Let me see. When was because I listened to a podcast about how like toothpaste marketing was like out of control. Anyway, 1955. Okay. Wait, no.
Holy shit. So maybe that was one of the third one. I didn't even think about that.
I hope I'm reading that right. Nope, I'm wrong. That's when striped toothpaste was invented.
I love striped toothpaste though.
Yeah, sorry. That's my answer, when striped toothpaste. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Let me think. Was it the 50s?
I was gonna say everyone before the 50s had bad breath. I was like, I just totally blindly ran with that.
I don't know what I was thinking. I forget. It was definitely like later than I thought. That it was like widely used, but
interesting.
Empathy, was it like a marketing thing for candy or something?
No. Well, no.
Trick or treating. I don't know.
So in the 1950s, the tooth fairy finally became a big thing because it was officially post World War II.
Right.
And people were now coming out of the war, and it was after the Great Depression, and people had a little extra money where they could now splurge on their kids. And so giving them money for their teeth wasn't as outrageous as it might have been 20 years ago.
That makes sense.
So this was like the beginning of kids getting, quote, spoiled comparatively to the Great fucking Depression and World War II. So parents were now kind of doing extra things like that for their kids. And then the second thing was Disney. Is that
interesting?
The first fairy movies were coming out.
Okay, that's so interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
So in the 1950s, or I guess in 1940, Pinocchio came out, and in 1950, Cinderella came out, and both of them showed a good fairy finding you when you needed help.
Oh my God. And then there was Tinkerbell whenever she came out.
Yeah, when did Peter Pan come out?
I Googled it recently because I watched it and I was like, what the hell am I watching?
Peter Pan Disney release year.
It was a long time ago.
30s? Oh, 53. So that might have also been one for all we know.
Could have been, because I feel like that probably would have been a popular character.
That totally makes sense. So then,
it's the most wildly racist movie. I mean, I know like most of those old Disney ones are, but I would watch that like, holy shit, this is worse than I remembered.
They're all pretty rough. They're all pretty
like
rough.
They literally on Disney Plus have those like opening credits that are like, we're really sorry about this. Anyway, good luck.
Our bad.
Bad, yeah.
So let's add Peter Pan to that then. So from 1940 to the mid 1950s, there were now 3 movies that every kid had probably seen, all involving a fairy that helps you. And so the fact that now people, I'm assuming, were really getting into like the idea of fairies, they probably went to go look at new books, found out about the tooth fairy. And so anyway, so that in the 1950s is when we solidified the modern day image of what a tooth fairy looks like, at least in the States.
Yeah.
So from the 50s to the 70s, the tooth fairy really started to become a thing. But by the 1970s, it blew the fuck up. Because there was this DJ in Chicago who mentioned her on the air.
What?
And the American Dental Association ended up like putting out an official statement, because they had gotten flooded with calls from parents being like, what the fuck is the tooth fairy? Like, we gotta, like, what is this? Like, so interest really surged in the 70s.
Oh my God.
To the point where like the ADA had to say something about it. So now there's an author named Michael Hingston, and he says, quote, every human culture has some kind of tradition surrounding the disposal of a child's lost baby teeth. And apparently these traditions are called shed tooth rituals, where you're like shedding the tooth.
Okay.
So that was the history of the tooth fairy. But now I'm just going to actually read off some interesting shed tooth rituals around the world.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
So there's still burying the teeth, which is more Middle Age England or Middle Age Europe in general. And European parents used to hide their teeth again from witches. Mm-hmm. But now it has slowly grown into this general understanding of like, if you bury a tooth, it's protecting your kid from struggles in the future.
Oh, okay. It's just like a good luck thing.
Yeah. And American settlers also took this idea with them to the States, which of course they took an idea and took other things from other places and other people. Okay.
To be fair, they were from there, right? So like,
fair, but
it was their thing, and then they brought it here.
Any opportunity to say that American settlers stole
well, I'm sure they tried to replace what existed here already with their fucking tooth burials.
Bingo. They used to bury their kids' teeth in flower pots, I guess, on the ships on the way over because they had nowhere else to bury it.
How scary, though, if you're like, wow, what a beautiful beautiful, like, archaeological discovery. And then there's just like children's teeth inside this like beautiful clay pot. That's terrifying.
Anyway, maybe if you find a clay pot from American settler era that's
okay, well, you know what? I have
encased in glass in a museum.
As we all know, teeth. I have a metal detector, which, yes, I know it's not going to find a clay pot, but maybe
just like reinvent it into just a plain old tooth finder. What do you think?
No, thank you.
So, thank you. So they took this idea with them, were burying their kids' teeth in flower pots, and it was to manifest growing a tooth with these new roots. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, that's
a lot of
nice.
play on words there. Places that still bury teeth. And by the way, I got this from many a website. I like really tried to do as intensive a deep dive as possible because I don't want to give any wrong information. But if you are from one of these places or you know better than me, please tell me and I will happily correct myself. But apparently Nepal, they still bury their teeth in a secret location to hide it from animals. Mm-hmm. In Malaysia, they bury their teeth in nature because the concept is they're returning their body back to the earth.
That's nice.
In Afghanistan, they bury their teeth in a mouse hole, which I guess it's interesting that there's still like mice involved in the lore. And my favorite one is in Turkey. They bury their teeth near a place that represents success to them. So that way, when their kids who lost the tooth grow up, it will almost like draw them back to that area and bring them success. So like if you bury the tooth near a hospital, that kid will become a doctor. It's like manifesting early. I was like,
we'll end up in the hospital. Okay.
No, it's like
working at the hospital,
manifesting their future careers.
How nice.
And so you could bury it on like a football field. So your kid would become a football player. I don't know. So I think that's interesting. That's in Turkey.
That is.
People still... in some places burn the teeth as another way to hide their teeth. And the lore has come about that if you don't burn them, that you would be looking for them for eternity. That's interesting to me. You can feed your tooth to an animal, often a dog, so that your teeth grow as strong as theirs. This is in Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, and some Alaskan tribes. I'm sure there's others. I'm just running just listing off a couple. In some places, they still hide their teeth. In Russia, South Africa, New Zealand. They also have a tooth mouse that they hide teeth for. In El Salvador, there's a tooth rabbit. In the Ukraine, kids will hide their teeth in the darkest part of a house wrapped in cloth. Some native tribes will put their teeth in trees, I guess because of the roots, or maybe returning your body back to earth or something. Interestingly, I would say most places, when it came to what they do with their teeth, throw them into the sky or onto the roof of their house.
No.
It was the amount of places that do this was shocking as someone who only knew about the tooth fairy.
Wow, like the raining teeth. I mean, they would like rain down on you. Oh my God.
So some countries, and I'm just saying some countries because originally I was going to list this and it was going to take too fucking long and you weren't going to remember the names of everywhere anyway. But there are multiple countries who throw their teeth at the sun. I think this is like to throw their tooth at Allah, like or something. Okay. There's also throwing teeth onto or over the top of your roof. And in some places, I saw this really in more like Asian countries. I think this was Japan or Korea. You would throw certain teeth in certain directions towards the roof.
Interesting.
So like you would throw some teeth up to the roof, and some you would throw, I think it was your bottom teeth you would throw up to the roof, and your top teeth, if you lost one of those, you would throw it down to the ground, and it was to represent the natural growth direction of that tooth.
Oh my goodness, that's really fascinating.
And I apparently that's very common. Some people throw their teeth into rivers. Some people throw their teeth into the wind after being crushed by rocks, so the dust kind of flies away. Cool. Some people also in combination with throwing the tooth to the roof or to the sky or wherever, the intention is to also have it be an offering to their own version of the tooth fairy, which is usually an animal. So in some places it's a tooth mouse, sometimes it's a tooth lizard, sometimes it's a tooth bird, sometimes it's a moon goddess, or sometimes the intention is to throw it up onto the roof so that the sun will turn it into gold. And there are a lot of places that have like a funny little saying that they'll say with the throwing of the tooth. So in Egypt, apparently they throw the tooth to the sun. And I don't know if this is still used, but this was what I was told on a few different sources, that in Egypt you throw the tooth to the sun while saying, shiny sun, take this buffalo's tooth and bring me a bride's tooth. It's like a funny little saying to that.
Okay.
In Romania, you throw the tooth over the roof and you say, crow, crow, take away this bone tooth and bring me a steel one.
Oh, that's nice.
In Sudan, you throw it to the sun and you say, take this donkey's tooth and replace it with a beautiful gazelle's tooth. Ooh. In Romania, the kids say, crow, crow, take this milk tooth and bring me a steel one instead of this bone tooth. Apparently in some native places, this one was apparently Cherokee. They'll say a couple times in a row, beaver, put a new tooth in my jaw, which would make sense because apparently beavers are much like rodents in that their teeth are super strong.
Sure. Well, yeah, they have to chew all that wood up.
Yeah.
No, that's a wood. Wait, yeah.
That's a woodchuck, beaver, dam. Yeah.
Yeah. God,
so some places also make their teeth into tools. Some turn them into jewelry and some play games with them. I saw in a few places that they do dances with them. And based on how you dance determines how crooked your teeth will be.
Oh, no.
I did look up what they do in Germany. And I basically saw that there was a tooth fairy named Zonfi.
That just means tooth fairy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have a tooth fairy. Great. I was hoping
that's
something.
Probably why my family did it. Yeah.
I was hoping something really classically German fairy.
Yeah, she comes in and rips your teeth out of your face.
She brings her own pliers.
Yeah.
In Ireland, though, apparently you leave a tooth to protect kids from changelings, which
sure.
would like to cover one day.
I'm excited for that. That always creeped me out.
And apparently in Ireland, there's also a tooth leprechaun, which is like so Irish.
So on brand.
Her name is Anna Bogle, and she apparently lost her own tooth, but she'll trade you coins for your teeth to replace hers.
Nice. Oh, see, that makes sense. Like, I lost mine. I'll trade you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
In Italy, there's a tooth mouse called Topolino. And they also, there's another, I guess, kind of tooth fairy called Saint Apollonia, or aka Santa Polonia. And this is the patron saint of dentistry and toothaches. Fun fact. And I guess she also represents the tooth fairy in some ways. In Finland, my favorite, and also the last little ritual I'll talk about. In the mid 1990s, they had this like marketing tooth troll. And this tooth troll was named Hamaspeko or whatever. Hamaspeko, I think. And it was this cautionary tale oral hygiene campaign about tooth decay, where they would tell kids that eating candy would lure in Hamaspeko, who would drill holes into your teeth and leave cavities. So it was like to promote oral hygiene, I guess. But there was a tooth troll, which I obviously had to mention.
I love a tooth troll.
This reminded me, this was before our time, but in the 70s and 80s, it's very funny that you mentioned earlier that you had recently looked up like toothpaste history, because I'd also looked up toothpaste history. Like, I don't know how our brains synced up like that.
Seems about right.
But I found out about this maybe like a month ago, and this is the perfect time for me to address it, but in the 70s and the 80s, there was this Crest campaign for children. And it was this like commercial on TV or like tiny little episodes called The Cavity Creeps. Have you heard about this?
No.
So The Cavity Creeps, I'll send you a picture.
Oh God.
It was basically like a little superhero action sequence where the Cavity Creeps, they looked like built up plaque. They were like plaque monsters.
Sure.
And they were trying to take over the town called Toothopolis.
Sure.
But there was the superheroes or the Avengers of this were called the Crest Team, and they wore Crest themed jumpsuits and they fought with toothbrushes and toothpaste. But let me please send you a picture of what they all looked like.
Please do.
Okay, so this is the Crest Team. And then this is what the Cavity Creeps looked like.
Oh my God. Look at their svelte little outfits.
They look like they're meant for this job.
Yes. What should people Google to find this?
Cavity Creeps.
Great. Okay.
I sent you another one, and this is a more recent drawing of it. It looks kind of badass.
He has like a toothpaste cap on his head.
It's so funny. So anyway, I just couldn't find another place, but Hammaspeko from Finland made me feel like this was a great time to mention our own campaigns against plaque and oral hygiene. So the Tooth Fairy has become very popular. There's even like whole movies dedicated to the Tooth Fairy, one being The Tooth Fairy starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson, aka RJ's future husband. Then there's Rise of the Guardians, there's Toothless, Darkness Falls, which is a horror movie about the Tooth Fairy that it used to be like the go-to horror movie that my dad watched when I was a kid. And so I remember getting stuck in dark basements watching Darkness Falls a lot as a child. But it's basically, if the lights are off, the Tooth Fairy will find you and kill you.
And what the fuck? No.
So anyway, there's a few movies if you want to go check those out.
No.
There's also, in some areas, people encourage oral hygiene and use the Tooth Fairy for that. So it's in such popularity that certain places, official mints will actually print Tooth Fairy coins for people to buy and leave under pillows for their kids.
Oh, how cute.
So the Royal Australian Mint has a $2 Tooth Fairy coin, and the Royal Canadian Mint, they had Tooth Fairy quarters. In most recent news, in 2020, there was some Tooth Fairy news. Do you know what that is?
In 2020? She went on strike? I don't know.
Close. Well, not close, but that's a good guess. During the pandemic, to keep morale up for kids, apparently a little kid wrote in and said, I lost my tooth during the quarantine. Is the Tooth Fairy still going to be here? And like, come get my tooth. Aww. And Canadian and New Zealand governments responded saying that the Tooth Fairy was an essential worker and would still be coming to people's homes to let kids feel like they could still lose their teeth during COVID and not have another thing missing in their life.
That's precious. But what if the parents are like, I don't have the money for that?
Ooh, she's in traffic.
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought they were like going to send out like extras,
I don't know. Like maybe
stimulus checks for the Tooth Fairy.
The Tooth Fairy stimmy. Yeah. So anyway, fun fact, the Tooth Fairy is an essential worker.
How precious. Oh my gosh.
Here are just some fun ways if you happen to have kids or if you're about to have a child in about 10 months, they're going to have teeth.
It's going to be a full set. Yeah.
I know. I'm pretending we've still got a little while though to that. But here are some fun ways that you can spice up the Tooth Fairy experience. Some of these were in parenting.com. So they're legit. Sprinkle, this is going to be a fat no from Christine, but sprinkle glitter on the floor to show the Tooth Fairy's trail of where they came into your room. That should be a
big no for every. I think that's a big no for every parent. I'm just going to like kind of give a blanket statement. I don't think anyone has
That's why I said it first. I was like, that's a great idea aesthetically, but also in theory, it's so quickly going to be a bad call.
If you have like someone cleaning your house every week who can do it for you.
if you plan on like getting rid of your carpet in the next week or so anyway, like then do it.
As someone with a trash pile, probably not the best move for me, but we'll see.
People will also, instead of dollars, they will leave little trinkets like books and toys, and they will also leave notes from the Tooth Fairy, so like an affirmation from the Tooth Fairy.
My mom did that. I mean, the Tooth Fairy did that.
Yeah. People will also buy Tooth Fairy pillows where it's a tiny little pillow with a pocket.
Oh,
So you can put your tooth in there. And that way, as a parent, you're not like digging under your child's sleeping
holy
head.
crap. Yeah.
Also, there's something online that you can print out, and it's a Tooth Fairy receipt to show that like there was an exchange of goods. That's
really cute.
There's also an app for parents that adds the Tooth Fairy to pictures as proof that she was there. So you can take a picture of take a picture of your sleeping kid, and it'll put a filter over it that the Tooth Fairy was there, so you can show them the next day.
That seems a little far for me, but whatever.
She can also leave voicemails for you. There's like different numbers you can call, and the Tooth Fairy will like text or call you back. And apparently, I did try calling it, and it didn't seem like it was in service, but it was also in the middle of the night. There is a Tooth Fairy hotline in Sacramento. Again, I don't know if it works. It could have been shut down, but there was a Tooth Fairy hotline. If you want to Google that, you can also do that and get a like pre-recorded message from the fairy talking to your kid.
I love that you called in the middle of the night and they're like, go to bed, please.
The Tooth Fairy was like, I'm literally so busy right now. Everyone's asleep.
That's true. It's her on hours. Yeah.
Anyway, that is the story of the Tooth Fairy.
That's fascinating. I'd never even thought about that as like a cryptid story.
Yep. Anyway,
Man.
I don't know if she's a cryptid, but like so many people were like, you have to do the Tooth Fairy. And I was like, if it's what you want, I'm going to give you what you want.
That's fascinating. So, I feel like as a future parent, I wonder, like, do you know what you're going to do with the Tooth Fairy stuff? Like, are you going to like lean into it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I don't know. I get all nervous about like, then the reveal of like, I was lying to you the whole time, but you know,
I feel like if that's the worst trauma I give my kid, then
I mean,
that kid had a pretty good life.
Yeah. Let's hope that's the goal.
Fingers crossed. I am so good of a parent that the only trust issues we have is the Tooth Fairy.
That they're mad about that at Christmas 20 years later. Yeah.
I think they'll bounce back. I think they'll bounce back from it. It's okay.
And it's like fun while it lasts, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a fun.
Or I mean, like, I'm sure you could negotiate and be like, oh, I know the Tooth Fairy, but she's busy, so I help and I give her the money. That
was always the go-between when we started questioning my mom why her handwriting looked so similar. And it was like, sometimes I step in while she's stuck in traffic or whatever.
Hey, now there's a computer. You can just type that shit and print it out.
That's true. Oh, that happened though. That happened to Blaze. They found the note on his dad's computer. Yeah.
Gotta learn to erase.
Gotta be careful. Yeah. Gotta be careful with that.
Anyway.
Gotta learn to encrypt however you do that.
Well, anyway, there's the Tooth Fairy for you.
Em.
Today's program is brought to you by Athletic Greens, the most comprehensive daily nutritional beverage that we have ever tried. When I was traveling, my mom actually had like travel bags of Athletic Greens with her. I mean, everyone I know is getting on the Athletic Greens train.
One tasty scoop of Athletic Greens contains 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food source ingredients, including a multivitamin, multi-mineral, probiotic, green superfood blend, and more that all work together to fill the nutritional gaps in your diet, increase energy and focus, aid with digestion, and support a healthy immune system, all without the need to take multiple products. Just take a travel pack and go.
Right now, Athletic Greens is offering our audience a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase if you visit our link today. You'll basically never have to buy vitamin D again. That's a pretty swanky offer. So whether you're looking for peak performance or better health, covering your bases with Athletic Greens makes investing in your energy, immunity, and gut health each day simple, tasty, and efficient.
Simply visit athleticgreens.com/drink and join health experts, athletes, and health-conscious go-getters around the world who make a daily commitment to their health every day. Again, simply visit athleticgreens.com/drink and get your free year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs today.
Christine, I have a crisis with public goods. Would you like to know what it is?
Yes.
It's that I ordered a dozen bags of the chocolate almonds.
Well, I knew that
and
already.
They're already gone. So public goods, you're making your bags too small, or maybe I'm just eating them every single day. Which one could it be?
It's a public health crisis. I wonder who's at fault.
It's me.
Yes, public goods. Public goods is great. It's so aesthetically pleasing. The packaging, it's simple and looks like even keel throughout your home. So like in my bathroom upstairs, I have like public goods hand soap, which I know we both love, and then downstairs I have a matching dish soap, but it's also clean and nice.
I know they have so many other wonderful items, and they're all sustainable. They're high
pet
quality.
Food.
They have everything, but really, I gotta keep I've never strayed you wrong before, gentle listeners. The public goods chocolate almonds are gonna rock your world, and I promise you. So is their pasta. I've had their pasta, and it's amazing.
Yep.
Well, listen, we worked out an awesome deal just for our listeners. You can receive $15 off your first public goods order with no minimum purchase. They are so confident that you will absolutely love their products and come back again and again and again, like I do. They give you 15 $15 to spend on your first purchase.
Plus, right now, receive your choice of either a free pack of bamboo straws or reusable food storage wraps. Love those things. With your order, you have nothing to lose. Just go to publicgoods.com/drink or use code DRINK at checkout. That's PUBLICGOODS.com/drink to receive $15 off your first order. All right, I have a story for you, and this is kind of like a really random one also. I feel like this is just a random episode.
I can't wait. What is it, like Santa Claus now he breaks into your house or something?
That was the Grinch. We already
Oh,
did that
right.
one.
You already did that. Yeah. Sorry. Is this the Easter Bunny and how he just like vandalizes every yard with eggs?
Vandalizes eggs everybody's house. I mean, these creatures are dangerous.
Maybe you also did the Tooth Fairy and how like there's this invasion, this mass invasion that like no one's talking about, and children are just running rampant with no teeth in their head.
With no teeth or with too many teeth. They get with too many teeth. It's an epidemic. No, I have a story that actually I covered in Orlando that I thought I had already covered on the show, and then I went and looked and I didn't. I checked like 3 times.
Fun.
So I'm very excited about it. It's really random, but it like is so bizarre. I'm just excited. This is the story of Lena Clark. And I actually titled it The Strange Story of Lena Clark. So
that must mean it's super strange if you're writing strange on it. Okay.
So Lena Clark, she was born Lena Marietta Thankful Clark in 1886 in Vermont, but moved to West Palm Beach at a young age. And her father was a minister named Reverend Almond Taylor Clark.
I'm sorry, is his name Almond? And he named his child Thankful?
His name's Almond without a D at the end. So like almond.
Oh, Almond. Okay. Yeah. That's a more normal name.
ALMON. It looks a lot like almond. It's not like almond with an AN.
That's what I thought was happening.
Still not quite a normal name.
Realistically, he should have, instead of Thankful, named her Joy so they could be Almond Joy. But like,
wait a second. That's good.
I'm just saying.
Good, good job.
But anyway, it's knockoff like 99-cent store Almond Joy. It's Almond Thankful. It's like Great Value Almond Joy.
Oh my God, the Florida version, yeah. Almond.
Do they have a dog named Snickers or something? Or like...
No, I can't get over Almond Joy. Okay, so he was a minister, and Lena devoted a lot of her time to the Red Cross, the Congregational Church. She sold war bonds during World War I. She was just a very how do you say it? Like a very generous, charitable person.
A good person, as they all are in the beginning of this story.
Yes, precisely.
Either they're all good and then they die, or they're all good and then they kill. So it's one of the two. Yeah,
You're completely right. It never ends well. Wow. That's a rough.
Why do people still listen to this? The Spark Notes. There's a lady either in white or black in my story, and in your story they were good and then they're dead. So
don't reveal. Come on, cut this out.
Sorry.
Okay, so her sister Maud was the city librarian for West Palm Beach. And apparently Lena by age 6 was like reading philosophy books. Like she was very smart, very charitable, I guess thankful based on her name. And her brother worked as the postmaster at the West Palm Beach office. But unfortunately on Christmas Day of 1920, he met a strange and untimely death when he died of a coral snake bite.
Oh, holy shit. That is...
You want to know how he died of a coral snake bite?
Well, I imagine in Florida, like anything with scales is just flying around. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. You'd think so. But no. Turns out he was a taxidermist and an amateur snake charmer on the side.
Wow. Wait, I'm in Florida right now? What?
I know, right?
This doesn't sound Floridian at all.
I know, right? It's like the early Joe Exotic era. But he's literally you're already the postmaster. You've
already done it.
Job.
Yeah, you're
already successful, but I guess everyone needs a hobby. So he decides to be a taxidermist and amateur snake charmer, the most dangerous of jobs, I would imagine.
Every person he went and told that's what he does in his free time, they were like, that's a bad call. And then
this might be the last time I ever talk to you.
And then he died and they were all like, let me guess, fucking snakes.
Yeah. Let me stop you right there. I have a hunch. That's literally what happened. So, because you hear snake in Florida and you're like, oh, bummer. And then it's like, oh, wow. Okay. It was not what you expect.
Yeah. You took something that was in my mind so obvious. And you really flipped it on its head there.
But
Really
you
flipped
also
the
made a good
script.
point that it's still very Florida. Like, I'm like an amateur.
The only way it
snake
could be more Florida is if it was like an alligator or something.
an
Or,
alligator bit him while he was an amateur snake charmer, right?
or he was an amateur alligator charmer, you know, something like that.
Actually,
If you told me he died from an alligator bite in Florida, the last thing I could do is be surprised. So
yeah, exactly.
the snake is my like 1% ability to be shocked.
To be shocked. Okay, well, glad I got you on that 1%. So Paul had left the post office in 1918, and the man, I guess, to become a full-time snake charmer, and the man who became postmaster after him resigned shortly after. So in 1920, good old Lena, with the support of the community through a petition that she had signed by local businessmen, was hired as postmistress. So like this was not a thing that was like common, you know, as a woman to be hired to a job like this. So she had to have local businessmen sign a petition to let her do the job. But they did. And so she was 35 years old and she became the postmistress at the West Palm Beach post office. So at this time, post offices made a lot of money, not only from like stamps and the usual shit, but also for money orders and war bonds. And so about a year and a half into her stint as postmistress, on July 26, 1921, Lena sent 2 registered mail sacks to the Atlanta Federal Reserve Bank, and the sacks contained $41,000 in cash.
Okay.
Except they didn't, because when they arrived in Atlanta, they were filled with mail order catalogs cut to the size of U.S. currency to feel like money, but not be money.
Smart for stupid, you know?
Yeah, like it worked-ish.
Yeah.
So with my trusty inflation calculator, I determined that $41,000 back then is about $531,000 today. So like a massive, like $500,000.
Whoa, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. So more than $500,000, a massive sum of money. And a postal inspector arrived and was like, "Hey, Lena, girlfriend, what is going on here? What?"
Hey, girly pop.
Girly pop.
I feel like something's up.
Don't take this the wrong way, but you were the last one to see $41,000 go missing. And she's like, "I know nothing about this. No clue."
Wow. Again, Kel Surprise.
So less than a week later, on August 1st, Lena hired a driver named Baxter Patterson to take her to Orlando.
Love it.
She checked into room 87 of the San Juan Hotel in downtown Orlando under an assumed name. And later that evening, she walked into the police station in downtown Orlando and told police that she knew who had stolen the money.
Oh.
She
was
said...
Was it a fucking snake?
It was a tooth fairy. No, it was a man named Fred Miltimore, and he could be found at the San Juan Hotel in downtown Orlando. And they're like, "What are you talking about?" So they're like, "Okay, I guess we'll go to the hotel." So the man she accused, this Fred Miltimore, was actually a friend of hers, and he was a former mail carrier she had worked with in the past who had moved to Orlando and was running a restaurant called The Arcade. And so she tells police Fred Miltimore is guilty of the theft. He's the one who stole us money, and you can find him at the San Juan Hotel. They asked, "How do you know he's there?" And she said, "Well, he still has to be there because I drugged him with a morphine pill."
Okay, well, so she really fucking knows what's going on then. Okay.
She's like, "Don't question me."
She's like, "I'm pretty sure you don't need to mansplain to me what the situation is." Like,
how somebody could be stuck in a room.
I may have had a bag full of non-money, but and also my brother died of a snake. We don't make the best decisions, but I can tell you for sure this one, bet your money on it.
My dad, Almond Joy, sometimes names us really weird things, but you have to trust me on this. I drugged the man and he's still there.
We're just a kooky bunch, okay? So get through it.
We're a little kooky. What of it? So once the chief of police confirmed with West Palm Beach that Lena was indeed the postmistress, because I don't think they literally believed her at first. They were like, "This lady came in here and told us she had a job." Ha 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 ha.
Oh, okay.
How silly is that? They took her accusation more seriously and decided to go check out her story. So they arrive at the San Juan Hotel expecting to find a drugged Fred Miltimore. Guess what they find?
Look, at this point, what? An Almond Joy. I'm confused. What?
I knew you were going to say something fun. Instead, they find a dead Fred Miltimore. He had been not only drugged, but then shot in the chest with a gun lying nearby.
Holy shit.
So she just like casually forgot to mention the part where she also shot him.
the Big Bang isn't the most important part here. If
Yeah,
you're looking
yeah.
for the body, I won't tell you what state it's in.
Yeah,
but
you didn't ask, okay?
I gave you a very clear location. That was all you wanted, and that's all I gave you. So
That's all you needed. They
don't
also
make me show all my cards.
They also found the 2 empty money bags, which had been slashed open by a knife. And
Dramatic. You could just literally untie it.
Untie them. So during this discovery, Lena was still back at the police office. So officers were like, hey, chief of police, we just found him and he is fully dead. So the guy goes to Lena and is like, you killed the man. Like you said you just drugged him, but you killed him. And she was like, no, I didn't. What are you talking about?
I like how that way she's aghast. She's like, me?
Killed?
But I've done nothing that would imply that.
silly chief of police. I don't know where you got that idea. So she like wholeheartedly denies it, but then like pretty quickly just fully admits to it because I guess she can't like stand by her story.
I do appreciate that very quickly. She was like, I'm bored. You're right.
Yeah, she really does kind of change her tune really quick.
Like I don't want to do this. Yeah.
She's
okay.
fickle. She's fickle.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Gemini for sure. So she says she had shot Fred because he said he would blame her for the theft. And she's like, I just couldn't, since he was the one who stole the money, I had to shoot him or else he was going to tell everyone I did it. It's like, okay.
Right.
Then pretty soon after that, she confessed to the theft of the $41,000 as well. So she's like, well, actually, I did do it. So I guess that's besides the point.
This girl's all over the place.
She's not really good at like sticking to this story.
But also she's so quick to give in. Like even she knows she's a bad liar. Like she's like she knows what she's not doing, and she knows like that thing is the thing that she needs to be doing. And she's like, we both know I'm gonna get caught pretty soon. I'm too overwhelmed.
Like I don't have the energy to play this game anymore with you. I'm sure you don't either. We can all just give up the goat. Yeah.
I like how in my mind, every time they ask her about some new information, she goes, oh, no. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, technically, it really is like an immediate, like aghast. Yeah. Oh, you said shot him. Yes, that part I did do.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. So she's like, well, he said he would blame me for the theft of the money. And then literally minutes later, she's like, well, I did steal all the money. So that was on me. And
you got me.
Oh, you got me. They were like, well, why did you do that? And she explained that the embezzlement was an attempt to cover up her theft of registered bank money she had stolen 3 years earlier in 1918 while she was the assistant postmistress. So
it was like covering up a cover up.
She was like, listen. I had to do it.
Listen, the first time I embezzled money, not a good call. The second time I'm going to steal money to make up for that, still in the same place, but a bad call.
But like you understand where I'm coming from, right, guys?
You know this had good intentions, right?
You understand. I was trying to fix my mistake from
I officially haven't embezzled that money anymore, so like that's
true. That's been
checked off my list.
That's a really good point.
Just a different problem to deal with now.
You know what? That's a good point. She's covering her tracks. Well, not really, but she's trying.
Except not at all.
Except not even a little bit. So her explanation was she had followed Fred Miltimore from West Palm Beach to Orlando and lured him up to her hotel room.
Okay.
And she said, I shot Miltimore. I did it after attempting to make him sign a statement that he had committed the robbery. He wouldn't sign it. So in desperation, I shot him. It's not funny, but it's like
every single thing is her just giving up so quickly.
100%.
Like every single thing she's like,
she's like, please sign it. Well, okay. I guess you're dead.
It's like she decided to go on this huge like excursion, but after like not going to bed the night before. Like she's like, I imagine she's exhausted and like everything felt like a good idea going in. And when she gets there, she realizes how over it she is. And she's like, what?
She's so over it. She's so over it, over everything. No, 100%. And so they were like, well, why did you shoot him? And she's like, because he didn't sign the paper. Like, it's not even whatever. So
like, it's in terms of committing a crime, it's such a minor inconvenience. Like that's one of the things that I feel like if she held out for 10 more minutes, she could have forced him to do. Like,
right. It's like, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah. Like, honestly, you could have just like I guarantee you, based on the rest of her personality, I feel like she wasn't coming off as very threatening at like once.
She's like, well, so, I didn't mean to.
Like, can you just sign it? And he was like, no. And she went, oh, this is so hard. And then just shot him instead of going like,
so
Instead of like
hard.
getting in his face and trying to be assertive, she was just like, I asked once, he said no.
He said
I don't
no.
have it
What
in
am
me
I
to
supposed
ask
to
a
do
second time.
now? I
Yeah.
mean, it was easier to just pull the trigger, I guess.
I,
Yeah,
I
so and
guess
this is
so.
her friend, by the way. Like, this is a friend of hers. This isn't just some random, like, this is really fucked up.
All I've learned is her patience is a 5 out of a million. Like,
Well,
it's like
her name's Thankful, not Patience. So I think like if it were any other case, maybe
she should really
we
change her name to fucking Lazy. Like,
so, like, no commitment whatsoever. So within a few days, Lena was indicted on charges of first-degree murder in Orange County, Florida. And apparently, old timers in West Palm Beach said it was common knowledge that Lena Clark and Fred Miltmore had actually had an ongoing romantic affair, and he had jilted her. And that was part of the reason that she was so angry with him.
Got it.
So at least there's some sort of fucking motive. Besides,
Yeah, that
like,
makes
he
sense.
wouldn't sign this piece of paper. So in the months before her trial, her story became sensationalized. She became like a celebrity. She started receiving fan mail and flowers. She often sent her admirers poetry and letters, and like her friend gave her a typewriter in jail. So she had a typewriter in her jail cell. It's just like, how did they pull that off back then? Like,
Also, like,
I guess if you're a woman, they're like, well, you can write a poem, I guess. Here you go. I don't know.
Why'd she have so many fans? Like, so much admiration?
I don't know. She was like a celebrity, I guess, because she like was a heist.
Is it that like was this that time when women weren't killing people and it was just like shocking?
Well, it was the 20s and like people didn't even have like these high up jobs. So if she had to petition to even get the gig and then she stole a bunch of money out of it, I feel like she probably looked like a rebel. I don't know. I don't really know. But so she was given a typewriter in prison. So she wrote her admirers poetry and letters. And one of the headlines at the time read, "Accused girl types poetry in her cell." And she's in her 30s. So like girl is a little diminutive, but you know, whatever.
Could have gone with like murderer or like embezzler or like
criminal,
heiress to the Hershey company after Almond Joy follows through. I don't know.
Criminal with a vagina, if you must know what her sex is. Okay, so if you think having a typewriter in jail is strange, is what I put here, which I do. She was allowed to redecorate and paint her jail cell because it wasn't pretty enough.
Fun.
Yeah, I mean, why not? She also wrote an autobiography, sort of, from jail, and it was sold through local newspapers for 25 cents.
How long was this autobiography? Because I feel like based on like everything else she's ever done, she gives up really fast.
She's like prologue, the end.
She wrote the table of contents and was like, you get it.
That covers it, right? Like that about covers it. You can read the table of contents, good summary.
Yeah.
And people bought it. It was 25 cents, which today is $3.
Of course it was 25 cents. It was just a table of contents.
It was literally a list. It wasn't even a table. It was just a list.
It's like if I had to categorize my life into chunks, it'd be this. 25 cents, please.
Childhood. Anyway, next.
Childhood, murder.
Jail. It's been great so far. And so her autobiography was 25 cents, like we said, but also nowadays that's about $3.50. So like still pretty damn cheap for today. Like if someone wrote an autobiography. She soon recanted her confession and claimed to have no recollection of ever confessing to anything. Police had investigated several prominent men from Florida to New York as accomplices because they couldn't believe a woman could have pulled this off by herself. Of course, they were like, she must have had a male counterpart helping her. So, you know,
obviously, because she's a female.
She has a vajayjay, so she can't do this alone. She's painting her bedroom, her jail cell. I mean,
she's too busy writing nothing.
Right. Writing haikus to her admirers.
Right.
So while we're talking about sexism, as always, here's a quote from a newspaper article of the time. In personal appearance and dress, Lena Clark is far from attractive. Sorry, it's so bad.
I mean, fucking ouch, like, to be clear.
Yeah, it's like really rude.
Oh, God.
Her figure is heavy and uncorseted, which I'm like, she's in jail, but okay. Her figure is heavy and uncorseted, and her clothes smack of the backwoods. Which, woof, that's the rudest.
Smack of the back. I've never heard that phrasing before, and it is all bad. Wait, hang on.
Really
say it again.
harsh. Okay. Her figure is heavy and uncorseted, and her clothes smack of the backwoods. So, like, calling her trash, basically.
I love it.
Her shoes are generally without heels, God forbid.
I know. So she's got that clunky, frumpy walk you'd never want.
She's just flat, you know. And her stockings of cotton. Her skin is very fine in texture, but covered with large, disfiguring freckles. Miss Clark's only assets in appearance are her hair, which is decidedly wavy, and her eyes, deep blue in color and absolutely straight and unwavering in their gaze. So they're like, I guess her hair and eyes are attractive, but the rest of her is ugly. And it's like
we'll throw her a bone. Her eyes aren't the worst, but the rest of it is pretty insane.
You're writing an article. Like, I want to know who she shot, not like whether she's wearing a corset, but okay. So when they asked Almond Joy, the father, the Reverend, he says, the law of man may declare our daughter a robber and murderess, but in the sight of God and her aged father and mother, she is as innocent as a newborn babe. So take that for what you will.
Okay.
Lena Clark hired 2 firms to defend her, an Orlando firm and a West Palm Beach firm. They both settled on arguing on a insanity defense. So Lena obviously was great at this. So when called to the stand, she brought a crystal ball with her. And she gazed into it as she talked for hours about the 12 past lives she had lived before this one.
This person is Balloonatoons.
I was reading these the other day and I was like, I cannot believe I never told this story on the podcast. It's one of my favorites.
I also feel bad that I don't remember a lick of it. When you apparently have already told it to me.
It's actually one of the few that I do remember from a live show, which like is rare, as we all know.
Okay, remind me with the crystal thing, her 12 lives. What?
Right, sure. So she went up to the stand. Both her lawyers, she hired 2, were like, okay, we're gonna go with an insanity defense. She's like, got it. I'm on it. I'm good at that. So she went up with a crystal ball, and she said she talked for hours when she was on the stand about the 12 past lives she had lived. And here's some of her, in case you're wondering, about those.
Pause. Hang on. Like Saved by the Bell, freeze frame. Okay, so I like how they went in with an insanity plea, and like she went up to a stand with the crystal ball, and then she had to keep going after that. Like that alone. Like I'm all for like thinking like using crystal balls and like, but if you're going to court and you put one up and go, I choose insanity, like you've already done it. Like you don't have to keep going. And then she talked for hours and no one stopped her. What? Okay. She was like, no, it gets better. And they were like, I think we've seen enough.
It's like, I'm only on number 9 of my lives.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole dozen.
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, she knew her lawyers were going with an insanity defense before the trial. So she brought it with her knowing that there was going to be she brought the crystal ball playing into the insanity defense thing.
At that point, that she should have brought more than a crystal ball. She should have brought I don't know, like a backpack full of games or something.
But also, maybe she did, but she got hung up on those 12 lives.
She only got to the ball and then she hyperfixated or something.
She hyperfixated. And also they were like riveted, So she was like, well, I got to keep the entertainment going.
Yeah. Like, I mean, clearly I'm holding their attention. This could get me out.
This is at least very entertaining. So she had obviously been present for the creation in the Garden of Eden. So that was her first life.
What, as a flower or something? What was she? Was she Eden? No, or Eve?
She was blocked from leaving Eden with Adam and Eve. So she was just stuck in the garden, I guess, by herself.
So she's one of the oldest people on Earth, is what she wants to start out.
Like the oldest. Although I think maybe she was the snake. Remember, there's a snake.
That would be really symbolic in a lot of ways. Maybe she was the apple, but also she's literally one of 3 of the oldest people on Earth. And
she watched creation happen, basically.
And yet she's only had 10 lives in between then and now.
Yep.
Like, you're really picking and choosing your times here, my friend. Like, what was going on in the 20s?
Well, she had some big lives. Okay. Do you hear? Ready?
Was she Noah's Ark or something?
She was the big boat with all the animals.
she was just the wooden boat.
It's just the boat. So she was the goddess Isis in Egypt, obviously.
For fuck's sake. Okay.
So like an actual goddess. She was Berenice, the last queen of the Jews.
Okay.
She was King Herod's wife. Then she was eaten by lions. Then she that life got a little out of hand. She wasn't really fully in grasp of like what
that one she had derailed into. Like that one was off color.
That was a mulligan. She had to start over. She was like, take me back.
I was gonna say, like, did she not have a single boring life yet? Like, she just kept going for like the new heightened prestige.
It's like when people are like, oh, I did a past life regression. I was Cleopatra, and also I was so-and-so, and also I was, and I'm like, how could you have been all those people? Like, does that make everybody else just, I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
So eaten by lions. Then she waited several centuries for her next life, probably because she was so traumatized.
She was like, I need a break. And
like,
I'm not lying, you know?
Oh God. Yeah. Then she waited a few centuries, and then she started hanging out with William Shakespeare. And so she served as the muse for his character Ophelia.
Well, clearly.
So why not? And so and then we jump forward many centuries, and now she's like the postmistress in West Palm Beach, Florida. It's like, you've really come far.
She really humbled herself this time around. She was like, maybe excellence isn't what's expected this time.
Can you imagine though, in her next life, if she's like telling all this, she's like, I was blah blah, and then I was a postmistress, and I.
It's like the lion thing again. She was like, that one took a turn.
We didn't expect that. That wasn't part of the plan.
I didn't see it coming.
So there was one constant throughout all of these lives, though. Do you have a guess as to what it was?
A murderer? I don't know. What?
That Fred Miltimore was also there.
So he must have been either Adam or there were 3 people on Earth. Like, so who was the third in that awkward transition? Like, so it was her. I'm guessing he was Adam. Who was the other homie? Like, there was. Okay. Sorry. So I'm really fixating on the Adam and Eve
Adam and Eve, and then there were Fred and Lena, and they were just kind of there. I don't know where they were.
I actually think they were Adam and Eve. The Bible just wrote it wrong. It was just Fred and Lena, you know.
Fred and Lena. What a beautiful story.
So Fred has been there all the times. Was he one of the lions maybe and got his revenge?
Yes, because he was always persecuting her in every life. So either he like had killed her, or he would have hurt her or harmed her in some way, made her life miserable. And that was the constant thread throughout all of their lives together. So she gazed into her crystal ball, and she made a prediction that she would be found innocent and would then serve as the vice president under the head of the Socialist Party, Eugene V. Debs. Then he would be assassinated, and she would then become the president of the United States of America.
If I were that soul, I'd be so tired. No wonder she fucking gave up so quickly in everything in this life. She's right. She's like, I can't do it anymore. Like, my battery is at 2%. We're struggling.
I'm supposed to be president, and you're trapping me in this stupid post office. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's like, after everything we've been through, this is the vessel I have to live 100 years in. Fuck off.
Oh my God. So several psychiatrists, or back then they were called alienists, were called, and they testified to her mental state. They found her to be insane, while one thought the whole thing was a phony ruse, which I'm like, okay, that guy was probably onto something. The jury went into recession, then came back 2.5 hours later with their verdict. They said not guilty by reason of insanity, and the judge committed her to the Florida State Mental Hospital at Chattahoochee.
Oh, okay.
So she was pissed about this, which I'm like, I don't know what you expected when you're pleading insanity, but she was pissed. And she said she would have rather been sent to the gallows than go to this mental hospital.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, you brought the crystal ball, lady. Like, I don't know what you expected, but you brought the crystal ball. But so she didn't stay there long. Less than 1 year after her sentencing, Lena returned to West Palm Beach and resumed her work with the church and the Red Cross, living with her sister Maud and her 88-year-old mother, Marietta. Her handwriting in the census, you can still see it, which is pretty cool, but it's barely legible, but it appears to say nurse. So it looks like she became a nurse.
Wow. Okay. That feels finally something stable, but also, why did she get that job?
But also, who hired her? Yeah.
Yeah. Who was like, I've seen your resume of the last several centuries, and we need you.
It's not centuries; it's literal thousands of years since the year zero. But okay.
Okay, you're right.
So by 1940, neither Lena or her sister had ever married. God forbid. And they were considered spinsters.
Last thing she needs is a man after everything truly, else.
At this point. And then her occupation in the 1940 census was listed as writer. So I guess she gave up on nursing and wrote another quote unquote autobiography.
Solid.
So she passed away in 1967 and is buried in Woodlawn Cemetery in West Palm Beach. And then I have a fun fact here, which I talk about this a lot, and I feel like I've said it on Beach Too Sandy too, but do you know what the term going postal is from?
No, but I'll take a guess. Is it
go for it.
From being a mailman and like having to like lick stamps or something and like going?
No, but good guess.
I would think like the stuff in the glue makes you
the chemicals.
Yeah. Okay. What?
No, but I love that guess though. So going postal is an American English slang phrase referring to becoming extremely and uncontrollably angry, often to the point of violence, and usually in a workplace environment. The expression derives from a series of incidents from 1986 onward, in which United States Postal Service workers shot and killed managers, fellow workers, and members of the police or general public in acts of mass murder. Between 1970 and 1997, more than 40 people were killed by current or former employees in at least 20 incidents of workplace rage. And between 1986 and 2011, workplace shootings happened at roughly 2 per year, with an average of 12 people killed per year. So,
oh my God.
From like this whatever phenomenon where there are much higher rates of workplace murder at postal offices than other places. Oh my God. And there's a place like up our street in Cincinnati called Going Postal, and I'm like, don't. It's like mail center, and I'm like, you need to look up that phrase.
Jeez, yeah. I feel like if I owned a business, the first thing I would do is go look up like
Google
every historical meaning behind every word in it. Yeah.
So always kind of threw me off. But anyway, that's the really random story of Lena Clark that I decided to just throw in everyone's face today.
That was fun. That was a nice little bantery
like
one.
A weird, I feel like they're always very dark and heavy, but I feel like this one's at least a little lighter.
This one at least had some curveballs where I could have something to say versus, oh my God,
yeah. Where I just didn't stun you into silence every 30 seconds.
I swear to God, I thought at one point you were going to say one of her lies is that she's the fucking tooth fairy. I was like, that would be such a perfect circle.
Surprise! I mean, it might have been. You never know. She was a goddess, Isis. So like,
maybe in her next life, she'll take over.
That's true.
Yeah. And then you kids really should be nervous about.
Then we have something. We have to reconsider this whole thing.
Well, thank you, everyone. What day did this come out? This is on the 1st?
This comes out on the 1st of August.
Oh my gosh. We only have 4 months left until 2022.
4? Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
That means that there's like less than 2 months till my baby is born. Oh, Lord M. It's all happening so fast. Help me. Help.
I love you, but you chose this pretty actively, dare I say. I think really committed to this craft. So
listen, you know me. At a certain point, I can't just. I'm not Lena. I don't just give up. I'm like, 100%.
The tenacity is insane. Look, here's your reward for all of your efforts. Congratulations in advance for all of the sleepless nights you're about to experience.
Thank you so very much.
I don't know. That's why I'm just still on that story. I can't wait to go think about every single life she's ever lived and how they're all more ridiculous than the last.
And how we'll never amount to anything even half as interesting as hers. Yeah.
Oh, well, no. Oh, but here's me trying to twist one thing into another thing. If you do want something interesting, since it's August 1st, we have a listeners episode that comes out today.
Oh my God, you're totally right. Today. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, did we record that yet?
Nope, we have not. So we should do that. ASAP.
Oh,
by the way, y'all, Eva's out of town as we're recording this, which is also why there's so much chaos probably happening in your ears. And so we're kind of trying to run the ship.
Trying to figure it out.
We used to do it. Fine.
We used to do it.
It's been a while. So we're trying to run the ship and let Eva have her vacation.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so we'll see.
Anywho.
Allegedly, a listener's episode came out today.
All right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed it if it exists, and hopefully we have fun recording it when we find a time in the next like 48 hours. And
That's
why
we
drink.
oh shoot, I hit the wrong button. Stop recording.